Welcome to Theory of Pets. I'm a passionate pet owner with a drive to help others like me uncover the truth about the pet industry and what goes on behind the scenes.
Now let's dive into where vaccines start to, split off into two different groups. One is called core vaccines, and then the other one is called non-core vaccines. Why don't you tell us what core vaccines are and why they're considered core vaccines?
Yeah, so core vaccines are either required by law, which is exclusive to rabies. So because rabies is such an important public health risk, that one is no question. If you have a dog or a cat, legally, it needs to be vaccinated for rabies. Now, there's some little nuance laws and rules that vary by state. Mm-hmm. And then for dogs, we have distemper and parvo. Those are both very, very manageable. We've had vaccines for distemper and parvo for many, many years. They've proven to be very safe, and they're both very devastating conditions. So both of them, your animal will either pass away from the illness or they will recover. In a lot of cases, they will, as I mentioned before, have long-term repercussions from
like
having that as they're younger. Exactly. And the other issue is both of those are viruses and they live in the environment for a very long time and they're incredibly contagious. So if you have a shelter with a distemper break, then that shelter is shut down. No animals can come in or out of it. And then the legwork that has to be done to disinfect that environment, or if you have moving into an apartment and an owner had a dog that had parvo before you, that is a contaminated environment. So we consider those core because they are so preventable, they're so devastating, and they're so hard to control in a population. The other core vaccines for cats is feline distemper. So same thing, it's a different flavor and a specific flavor of distemper that causes a little bit different signs, but still just as contagious, just as difficult to get out of the environment, and still has those same long-term repercussions. So those are what we consider kind of our quote unquote core vaccines for our domestic pets.
So now you said they're required by law. Basically, could you actually go to jail if you don't get those vaccines for your dogs, or would it be just like a pretty heavy-handed slap on the wrist, maybe like a fine?
Well, it really comes down to, and again, it varies by state, it varies by county, but it's more so if there's anything that comes up, your animal bites another person and that animal is positive and you didn't vaccinate him for rabies, you're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. And so just to summarize before we talk about the non-core, so which ones are core for dogs and then which ones are core for cats again?
So we have rabies, which are core for both. And then we have distemper and parvo for dogs. And then we have feline distemper in cats.
Okay.